Hey folks, Carla Sands here, putting in a plug for Gene Valentino's Grassroots Truthcast.
I remember the first meeting that I had with our chief medical team, and I said to them, life comes down, you're going to be judged by the choices that you make. And when the choice to start this company came up, it was a no-brainer. Because we all need to fight for what we believe in, and we need to strive for something.
I'm Dr. Heather Ghislaine. I'm a family medicine physician. I am the Chief Operating Officer for the medical team at the Wellness Company. We strive to base all of our decisions on science, and the lack of unbiased science in the last 2 years is one of the catalysts that has brought about the Wellness Company.
My role in the Wellness Company is going to be largely one of education and re-education of our physician corps, who are going to be administering medicine to large numbers of people, we hope, under our guidance, okay? We are not going to be telling them how to practice, but we are going to be telling them how to approach the patient in a different way. And that way involves returning to the first principles of medicine, which are the basic sciences.
Myself and the Wellness Company rely on data, scientific data, to drive critical decisions. But importantly, we must consider all available sources of data. Everything's on the table. Nutrition is basically what we put in our bodies, and you can imagine what we put in our bodies really matters. And nutrition science is going to play a giant role in the data-driven decisions and treatment plans that we devise at the Wellness Company.
So I'm Dr. Jen Vandewater. I'm a doctor of pharmacy. I graduated pharmacy college in 2006. I worked mostly for retail pharmacies, and through the years I noticed that it became very robotic. The pharmacy industry was no longer about patient care, and it became more fill prescriptions, give shots, anything you could do just to keep busy. There was no time for patient interaction and patient well-being. But while I was there, I was still seeing that people were on lots and lots and lots of medications. So as I was watching doctors prescribe more and more, I thought, well, how can I assist and help the patient realize they may be on too many medications?
Current medical practice is so completely off the rails that it almost has to be destroyed and rebuilt from the ground up, because we have allowed ourselves to be taken over by pharma for the most part. Most doctors just prescribe, they treat numbers as opposed to patients. They don't reverse disease, they maintain chronic disease. This is all wrong. Our approach is wrong. Our approach to these diseases is wrong. It is all based on giving a pill to treat a number. That is what modern medicine has become. We are not treating patients, we are treating numbers.
It's always been said that an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure, and if we can prevent an illness, we can prevent suffering, potentially hospitalization, progression of disease, and death. So prevention is absolutely critical.
I see creating an integrated healthcare system that focuses on prevention versus being reactive. I see a company that's going to continue to have amazing products and put third-party products on our store and in our platform that are vetted by some of the best physicians in the world.
What makes the Wellness Company's approach unique is that we're coming at different angles. We're not just coming into one area of health, we're coming into education. We're coming into training even providers on what health actually looks like. We've been kind of confused and misguided through the years, so the Wellness Company is hitting it in a way that nobody else has hit it before.
We have to go back to treating patients and getting them healthy again and maintaining that state of good health.
I truly am inspired to leave the world a better place than I came in. I want to create that change. I want to help people.
Grow in what you know about your health. Your health is yours. You own your body. We want to just guide you in that so you can make the right decisions for your health. And I'm excited to tell you that we're here and we're bringing you the best.
At this hour, we're learning minutes ago, Congressman Tim Burchett broke his rib. The Tennessee Republican with more detailed arguments to the courts as they are seeking to unseal grand jury records related not just to Epstein, but Ghislaine Maxwell. Our correspondent John Glasgow has more outside the federal court in New York City, including what Ghislaine Maxwell is now looking for to talk to Congress. John.
Yeah, on the day that those arguments are presented here before court, Ghislaine Maxwell now says that she is willing to testify before Congress, but with a list of demands. Maxwell says that she is willing to give testimony, yet she wants formal immunity. Maxwell put forward a list of demands to the House Oversight Committee. It comes as the DOJ is looking to unseal millions of records collected during the investigation into Epstein and Maxwell's sex trafficking cases. The question at hand is what is in those documents since they have not been made public. It's also unclear what new information, if any, is stuffed in the boxes of the evidence within the Justice Department. A lot of the material would require redaction to protect the identities of the victims and people who have not been charged with crimes. The Epstein files are made up of 300 gigabytes of data, video, photographs, and audio that live within the FBI's main electronic case management system. These records would include investigative reports and records from the FBI Miami field office in their original investigation into Epstein. But the bulk of the records would come from the second investigation carried out by the FBI's New York office. That could include investigations into potential targets. Before the judge makes a ruling on whether to unseal that information, additional arguments of the importance of the material was wanted. The push to unseal the Epstein files comes as the Trump administration is facing pressure from the Trump loyalists to be more transparent. Earlier this month, the DOJ and FBI concluded there's no evidence Epstein kept a so-called client list and he was not murdered in jail. Last week, Deputy Attorney General Todd Blanche met with Ghislaine Maxwell, who's serving a 20-year prison sentence in Tallahassee, Florida. No word yet on what she told the DOJ. President Trump was asked about it on his trip to Scotland.
People that work in this spa, I have a great spa, one of the best spas in the world in Mar-a-Lago. And people were taken out of the spa, hired by him. In other words, gone. And other people would come and complain, this guy is taking people from the spa. I didn't know that. And then when I heard about it, I told them, I said, listen, we don't want you taking our people, whether it was spa or not spa.
That's the first time President Trump has addressed Epstein and Mar-a-Lago publicly since all of this has unfolded. As for Ghislaine Maxwell and her legal team, they'll now wait to see what the House Oversight Committee decides to do in terms of their list of demands. As far as a ruling here out of the courts, it could be about a week, as the judge has given the victims of Epstein and Maxwell an opportunity to put forward their arguments to determine whether or not they would like the Epstein files sealed or not. Back to you.
John, thank you. A lot is happening in this case, and we have some experts to weigh in. Former federal prosecutor Doug Burns is with us, and he is the host of the Grassroots Truthcast podcast, and political insider Gene Valentino. Guys, great to see you both here. All right, Doug.
I do.
Will they give Ghislaine Maxwell immunity to talk to Congress? And even if they do, what does that mean with the grand jury testimony? It's like two separate things here. It's still harder to get your hands on that, but obviously it becomes a pickle if she's opening up new names and gets immunity, and maybe not a great look for the administration with immunity from Congress?
Well, it is two separate things, but immunity is badly misunderstood, not to sound, high and mighty, but those of us who do
that's
this
why we're
day
asking you, yeah.
Yeah. No, because it's what you call like use immunity. And what that means in simple English is I go into Congress and I say, yeah, I killed the guy. I murdered him in Central Park. They can't use the words I said. However, if somebody approaches Congress and says, I was walking my dog and I saw something interesting, so I turned on my video camera on my phone and I captured this guy, Doug Burns, murdering somebody, they can use that and prosecute. So it's called use immunity. This came up big time in the Ollie North situation, not to get in the weeds. If the government can demonstrate that they got the information separate from what the person testified to, then they can nevertheless prosecute. But it's academic here anyway. She's already been convicted and sentenced to 20 years for the same, presumably, information that's going to be discussed. So it's really a lot of sort of red herrings all over the place. On the grand jury material, I'm not a big fan of releasing grand jury material. It's supposed to be secret, and you could use this case more than any other one in a law school classroom to preserve secrecy because you end up smearing people all over the place.
All right, but she's also, and her lawyer, who is very good, asking the Supreme Court to overturn her conviction because Epstein got a plea deal in 2027. The government said none of his co-conspirators would be touched, and she was in 2019, serving 20 years. This is fascinating. And Jean, obviously there's been a lot of political, exposure and fallout. President Trump now suing the Wall Street Journal. He said today for that $10 billion suit that he says Rupert, they want to settle. He also, just moments ago, we had the sound, was talking about Jeffrey Epstein, who he kicked out of the club. We all know that.
Right.
That he was taking people from the spa. So it's a story that refuses to die.
It's confusing at best because the public is at a point now where there's a right to know, there's a desire, there's an appetite to know, but at the same time, is it relevant? Is it important? Or is it a distraction? Has the whole Epstein case diverted our attention off the successes? Talking political, has this case in the media been used to divert and deflect your attention away from the successes of Donald Trump over the last 6 months? To me, is I think the essence of the use initially, but now the naysayers, the people that are anti-Trump, are saying, oops, I think we opened up Pandora's box here. They may be pursuing stuff that they may be getting to the bottom of. Ghislaine Maxwell is just an agent to getting to a solution that Trump's going to like very much.
All right, let's talk about Harvard. Harvard University could be willing to pay $500 million to settle its disputes with President Trump. That's a huge number. It's more than 200 that Columbia said it would pay. The details of the reported settlement have not been disclosed, Doug, but apparently they don't want to make it directly to the federal government, according to a New York Times report. But this is, again, all over what was allowed to happen on campus. What do you think the play should be here? Obviously, another win for President Trump.
No, I mean, it's another win. Columbia settled for $200 million, and they put in, remedial measures. They're going to tweak their programs. They're going to, enforce cracking down on exactly what type of protests are going to take place. So it's all good. And Harvard, was very feisty in court, and they were going to fight it, to the mattresses, as they say. But now it looks like they're going to settle it.
All right, Jean, I have 20 seconds. Final thoughts here?
Yeah, real quick on that point is, I wonder what Harvard is hiding or has to hide. I mean, a massive settlement of $500 million. Is there something more to the story they don't want to get out?
Well, we know the State Department's certainly looking for things when it comes to visas, international.
Yeah.
Go to a lot of stuff there. All right, guys, I wish we had more time. Come back and visit me soon. Jean Valentino, Doug Burns, thank you.